Before Rome. Before Greece. Before Egypt built a single pyramid, someone, somewhere in Africa, sat a child down and taught them something on purpose. That moment is the real root of every classroom, every book, every video you've ever learned from. You've probably heard Africa is the cradle of humanity. That's usually where the story stops. But the same continent that produced our species also produced our first teachers. Not myth. Physical evidence. And most people have never been shown it. In a cave on South Africa's coast, archaeologists found pieces of red ochre, deliberately engraved with a repeating crosshatch pattern. Someone made a symbol. Someone else understood it. That's the first known transfer of an idea from one mind to another. The Blombos ochre is dated to roughly 73,000 years ago. A symbol only works if it's shared. That's the quiet detail people skip. This isn't evidence of one genius. It's evidence of a teacher and a student. Move forward to a bone found near Lake Edward, in what's now the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Ashango bone, carved with rows of notches, grouped in ways some researchers read as an early tally system. Its exact purpose is still debated, but the grouping implies structure. Teaching isn't a nice-to-have for a species, it's a survival technology. You see this refined, centuries later, in West Africa's griots, hereditary oral historians trained for years to memorize genealogies, laws, and history, then transmit them with precision. A griot was a walking, structured curriculum. By the 1300s, the city of Timbuktu held one of the largest concentrations of scholarship on Earth. The University of Sankore housed manuscripts on astronomy, mathematics, medicine, and law. This is verified, cataloged history. Timbuktu functioned as a formal center of higher learning centuries before some of the world's oldest universities existed in their current form. Here's where it gets contested. Some scholars argue ancient Egyptian learning centers directly shaped Greek philosophy. Mainstream classical historians push back on the specifics. What almost everyone agrees on, Egypt and the wider Nile Valley were undeniably sophisticated centers of mathematics, medicine, and astronomy, engaging with the Mediterranean world. Every one of these moments is a turning point where society chose to formalize teaching instead of leaving knowledge to chance. Every time a society stopped investing in that infrastructure, knowledge wasn't just paused, it was lost, sometimes permanently. Teaching isn't the natural state. Forgetting is. The practical lesson isn't pride in old achievements. It's this: knowledge you don't structure and pass on dies with you, no matter how good it was. Every system you build only compounds if you build a way to teach it to the next person. So the real story isn't that Africa is where humans began. It's that Africa is where humans first decided an idea was worth protecting past a single lifetime. That decision, to teach, deliberately, on purpose, is the actual technology behind everything you call civilization.